Hey everyone. So this week we were asked to talk about our introduction concerns about ethics and using them in our profession of counseling. We know that counseling is a profession that ethics is a huge part of. It's the cornerstone of many of the decisions that we make. And there's a lot to consider with ethics. Um, Regarding some of my concerns with ethics, I would say professionally, I want to be a school counselor, and the school setting is unique in several ways. Um, as a school counselor, you are not just a counselor in a private practice. You have a boss. You have the administration, and you have principals that are over you. There are situations where they will come to you and they will ask you about a student. And one of my concerns, or the things that I want to learn more about in ethics, is knowing that line between what the administration should know and what is privileged information between you as the school counselor and the client. Another professional issue is dual relationships. That's something really big for me, especially in Eastern North Carolina. We are in such a small area that it's pretty obvious that you're going to run into some of your students from time to time. And so it can be a very awkward thing, and it can also be a breach of confidentiality if you say something to them in public to give away that you are seeing them in some kind of manner. So I think that being cautious of dual relationships, learning more about dual relationships, and how to interact with students and parents in public is something that kind of worries me or concerns me about ethics in the profession. And knowing a healthy amount of self-disclosure is another one. Professionally, you have to be careful what you say about yourself and also what you indicate to a student. So learning what to say, how much to say in order to get a student to talk is something that I really want to learn more about over the course of the next few weeks, as well as when I move into my internship. Legally, some things that I would like to know is knowing the right process to reporting things, and making sure all the steps are taken, and that all people are notified. Legally, you can get in a lot of trouble if you miss a step or you fail to report something. So I would like to become more familiar with the things that need to be reported, and just gain more discernment about situations that are more vague, and making sure I know what to do in a situation, and what the law says about the situation. Another thing is documentation legally. Knowing what documents are required to be given up if they're subpoenaed, and what does not fall under privileged information. That's kind of a gray area for me, and that's something that I want to know more about. You know, what do I give up? What am I supposed to turn in? What needs to be documented? Those are things that can really make or break your practice. So those are some things that kind of concern me about ethics, and are a few areas that I want to learn more about. Um, Ethically, one of the things for me is that worries me and that I want to be able to learn more about is being able to differentiate between situations and being able to figure out information that needs reporting and how much you tell parents in that setting. You have parents that are helicopter parents or parents that are extremely over involved, and you have children that are underage that want to come to you as a counselor and talk to you. And one of the things that I'm worried about is knowing how much to tell a parent without losing a student's trust and breaking their confidential rights, even though they are a minor. So that's something ethically that is a challenge for me as well. And also just overall being able to differentiate my feelings from the facts that a student is providing me, and being able to figure out and make a decisive decision. Well, is this a situation that requires me to step in and do something and take action and work with this student, or is it something where I feel like, hey, this is something that you just need to go back to class, this is drama related. And so ethically, I want to figure out how to find that line of knowing a situation that really needs help from a situation that is not as dire at that moment. Some more things to explore that I would like to know about is learning about the specific documentation in school counseling and how it's different from being in a private practice. A lot of people tell me that school counseling documentation is different, that certain documents in schools are not permissible in court, and that a lot of things that you write in school counseling is really no good. It's for your own records. So I really want to gain more insight on the documentation and the legal aspects of school counseling. Some concerns about counseling in the profession, of course, is malpractice or being sued. That's a huge one. In our society today, there are so many people that are greedy and after money. One mistake and they're trying to find something to get something out of you. And that can be something really big that could really affect your career. So that's a real big concern for me. Another concern is obviously not doing the right thing, not knowing the right issue with a client and guiding them in the wrong direction or messing them up, so to say. They're there, they trust you, they expect you to be a professional and know what to do. Yes, we're humans and make mistakes, but that doesn't mean your mistakes are not going to weigh on your conscience if you screw up. So that's something really important to me to be aware of. Another thing is the difference between not reporting something and when to report something. And of course, being able to deal with the emotions of trying to make a decision and knowing it's the right decision. There's sometimes you might make a wrong decision and you get in trouble for it, or there might be times where you feel like you should have done something and something bad happens because of it. And those are some concerns for me as I enter the counseling profession. But I am really eager to learn more about ethics and hopefully get a more clear picture of my role regarding the law and my expectations of a counselor.